Hey, Shiny Crafty People, it's Tim Totten here. Welcome back to the channel. I just want to show you something super quick. It'll be a shorter video than normal. My mother has a lovely, cute little dachshund who, she bought him this dachshund, collar thing, and it was too big. It fell off of him, and he was able to start chewing it up, and he broke one of the pieces. And so she bought a different one, another one that's very nice, that actually has his name and everything on it, but it's just a little bit too tight. So what we're gonna do is come in here and loosen this one out. It's just got a little stitching on the back to see there, stitching right there. I'm gonna take this out, add a piece of the webbing from the other one inside, and extend these so that this dog can actually wear a proper one that fits him around his rather large midsection. So we're gonna add here to stretch these out a little wider. Join me at the cutting table, show you what we're gonna do. So what I've done is take the part that was broken and messed up and just cut a section of the webbing out. Now this webbing, I could just cut this off and put the webbing in if the webbing was the same width, but you'll notice it's just a little bit wider here than there. So I really can't use that, but I can put this in between. So what I'm gonna do is I need to take out this stitch that's in here. Now, one of the ways you can do that is I could get a pair of scissors and reach in there, which I'm going to try to do and see if that actually helps. If it doesn't, then I'm going to need to get either a razor blade to go in there like an X-Acto knife, or I might be able to cut from the back side and take it off. Now, the reason this is valuable to me is she's fine if I put some stitches on the top here, so I'm not too worried about doing it, but I want to get as much of this as I can out of there. And to do that, I kind of need to cut this out. So I'm putting my scissors in there and cutting. I'm hoping it's actually doing the job I need done. I don't know if it is or not. It is cutting through. I'm getting some stitches pulled. So if I reached in there, I could find that maybe I'm getting some of those stitches pulled apart, and I think I am. So I'm just gonna keep up at that. Once I get this out of here, then I'll cut back to you and we'll show you what it looks like. I want to show you, it's taken me a little while to get here. It's been about 2 or 3 minutes, but I can be able to pull that fabric out and start cutting right along in here. I'm using the point of the scissors to get in there and pull a little more. And now I did it. It's released. See here? So I'm going to go to that point where I ripped all those threads off, and I'll just cut that right in half there. All right. So what I'm then going to do is feed this through here. Now I want to cut this to about the same width as here so we don't see any ugly amount coming out. So what I'll do is I will go ahead and sew these two together. And I'm going to sew I'm not going to do this number and pull it out. I'm going to put one on top of the other and just sew up an X along there. Let's do that. So I'm going to cross these over about 1/4 inch, and I'm going to come and sew like an X. Go down to the end here, spin it around, sew back to the other end, spin it, come down to the bottom, and then spin it back up so we get like an X shape. And that's really held those two pieces together. Now I'll come back and trim all of these little threads off so that they looks nice. What we've done now is we've extended for this, where this is gonna fit. We've now extended this from the center now to at least to the outside here. So what I will do here is I will go ahead and feed this guy back through this opening. And I'm gonna pull it all the way until it reaches just to the end there, just like that. And if I really want, I wanna make sure he gets enough space. So I'm gonna pull it right in there, and I will actually tack that in place when I get to that point. Then over here, I know how big I want this to go out, so I can trim this to the exact right size on this side. All right, so that's been trimmed to where I want it to go. And it lets me pull it through, and I can bring the other piece over it. And again, I cross them over by about 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to use a little bit of a flame, a lighter to melt these pieces in a minute. Because this is mostly polyester, it's a nice plastic that'll melt basically. And because this is black thread on black, you really aren't going to see any of that stitching. Let me get a lighter and I'll light that and show you what it looks like. Surprisingly, having a lighter is a really useful tool for when you're sewing, especially with this kind of stuff, because I can literally just come in and light that and it basically melts that edge. Same thing here on this side, right? And then over here, I'll do the same thing on this side that I did. See, it's kind of raggedy looking. I can just, you're not trying to set it on fire, you're just trying to melt it. So now that's all melted in place. Our next step to do is going to be to line this back up centered. So the same amount coming out either side. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and stitch it down right through this, stitch this on the top. Actually, I'll do it right through here. And over here as well. And now that is finished, I have just now added an extra 2.5 inches or 2 inches to the center of this so that it's going to fit onto their sweet little dog Charlie just a little bit easier. All right, that's a quick way to adjust something that maybe for your pet or your animal. I hope you join me next time. And until then, stay crafty. Bye for now.